All right. What's
Jen
up?
Stone. I'm just pulling up my notes.
Pull up
because
all your notes, baby.
Rewatched the podcast.
Well, that's shocking since it's a rewatch.
I rewatched the
podcast.
show.
I rewatched the podcast. Wow, that's very meta.
I was up late again with Tony's.
Well,
so
your son keeps you up at night. What can you say?
Yes.
So this episode is the 8th episode of season 1 of Wizards of Waverly Place. Yeah, please.
Curb Your Dragon.
Oh, spicy. It aired first time on November 30th, 2007, and it's about Alex buying a new dragon dog, which looks like a beagle, but it's actually a dragon.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But Alex didn't buy it.
Justin bought it.
Justin bought it.
My bad.
Alex pushed it on him.
That's true.
Right?
Well,
I'm sorry. I apologize for interrupting.
No, but okay. So technicality here. Justin bought it technically, but they all wanted a dog. Like Alex wanted a dog.
Yes. And I'm going to let you continue and then I'll
Geez. Excuse me.
I'm so sorry.
But she pushed it on him because she let the old one run away.
Yes. When she was 7, there was a little bit of dialogue where David says, I don't want another dog. And she said, let it go. I was 7, but we don't know what happened. Did she kill the dog? There was no detail.
Well, it's up to your imagination, as well as what happens to the dragon dog, who never appears again.
Ever, which is so
he goes to the same fate as the original dog.
Well, and also,
the fate of mystery.
I don't mean to jump right to the end of the episode, but we'll get there. But he literally farts his way upstairs.
Yeah.
He farts and
You do that all
in.
the time.
Of course I do.
Sorry, you set me up way too perfect.
No, but I can fart on cue.
Don't. You already burped. God,
I did. I burped and I can fart on cue, but I'm not going to.
You know what's, I know I said this to you before. What's so ironic, I think is the right word for that, is for someone who doesn't like bodily sounds as much as I do.
You still hang out with me?
No, of course not. No, bodily sounds as much as I do. Like I wasn't a Nickelodeon kid when I was younger because I hated all like the fart jokes, the poop jokes, like all that stuff. It just wasn't my sense of humor. And now I'm around people that just like fart and shit and vomit all the time.
Listen,
so
Mel
it's kind
Brooks
of ironic.
Is my godfather. Yeah. So farting and burping and pissing is this is
but
the
Mel Brooks
humor.
was funny in other ways. It wasn't just that.
It wasn't just.
So I appreciate a bit of a. I'm a bougie ass bitch. What do you want from me? I want a higher brow than just the farting and the pooping and the farting up the stairs.
In rewatching, I was like. There's so many things. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But the dog / dragon farting his way upstairs was really funny to me.
No, it was funny. I'll give it that. So I wasn't in this episode. This was one of those like
bullshit.
I know it.
Disney.
But I was on set during this episode.
Oh,
because I had to bank school hours, which I'm going to pull a DeLuise. Here we go.
Banking school hours means
you got to do this with the glasses. For those who can see at home, like pushing up the bridge for banking school hours. No. So basically, you were required by SAG, which is the Actors Union, to get 3 hours of school every single day for actors that are still in school. And sometimes on shoot days, we didn't have that 3 hours. So we would bank hours to use later.
Right.
So I was on set banking school hours for other shoot days.
I love it.
So I was jealous because there were all the dogs on set that week. And I wanted to play with all the dogs because they have the dog show.
Right.
They wouldn't let me because they were professional stage dogs.
Right.
And they didn't.
And correct me if I'm wrong, we had a tiger. There was a tiger there. And
you know what I remember about the tiger? I remember because I went to set for that, and they said, they were like, if anyone's menstruating,
I was going to say
get
that.
out.
I was even going to say, because the tiger can smell the blood.
Yeah, and then he's just going to rip your uterus to shreds.
I'm glad you said it, because I was like, am I allowed to say this? But they're like,
well, you
if
have
you're
daughters,
menstruating, you got to get out.
You know.
What if an actress was menstruating that had
She
to be in the scene?
She had to get the fuck out. She had to get out. GTFO.
But if she's in the scene, you shoot with a different
Plug
person.
her up. I don't know.
Plug her up. Oh my God, Jennifer Stone.
Like,
come on.
Soak it up.
Yeah, in the very beginning.
I feel like you couldn't do that if they were.
I interviewed all of my friends because I didn't want
About their periods?
Yeah. About how they had their fathers
talk about it.
Some of my friends were like, my dad gave me 24 roses, and I was like, she was mortified that
you can't have roses for the rest of your life after that. Valentine's Day's ruined.
Right.
Can you imagine if a guy tried to give you 24 roses? You'd be like, oh God, like
Listen,
after that.
I am going to just, synopsisize this. But
please synopsisize.
My friend Tegan said to me, you can just refer to it as her. I mean, you might, whatever. they're young, so like
Yeah.
when your moon cycle happens,
Oh,
I said
okay.
there's going to be pads and
Did
tampons
your friend live in
your...
Topanga Canyon?
Yes.
Did she really?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Because I was like, she
Topanga
has to be
Canyon
really bohemian.
It's a very hippie place to live.
Yeah.
But what she said to me was just tell her, you have tampons and pads in your thing and in your bathroom, and I will refill those whenever you need, and you let me know if you need anything, and I
that's
love
wonderful.
you. And done. You don't have to like make
Don't make
it
it weird.
Dads make a thing
Don't
out
make
of it, right?
See, my dad was like, didn't even try. Like my dad was like, nope, not doing it. I never got the period talk. I never got sex talk. My dad was just like, that's a mom thing, not doing it.
Nothing,
my
huh?
Mom never did it either. What I got was
Where did you get your information? I get
so
from
the internet, which
Yeah.
is not good. My brother, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. My brother told me what sex was because I Googled it because he told me it was a kind of animal. So I Google imaged it, which was really good. There are a lot of questions, but we're not going to get into that. But the periods I learned from, and I'll never forget it because I didn't eat pancakes for a year because in third grade maybe, in grade school, they showed us this godforsaken video about this like girl that goes camping in the backyard of her friends. And then she gets her flow in the middle of the camping and oh no. And the mom like helps her out. And then she explains it with pancake batter. So literally none of us ate pancakes for a year after this.
It's not cool.
It's awful. But literally like took the pancake. I was like, here's your uterus and here's the blood coming out. Like just awful. Awful.
And now I can't eat pancakes.
Right?
I'm gonna have waffles for the rest of my life.
No, it's waffles are a much better option if that's your reference.
In my mind right now,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, is this good to talk about? But it's important. I
is
know
important.
that it's good to talk about because we have
a
to.
part of life. Why is it taboo?
Well, because people.
I know all the
go,
guys
don't
have
talk
just
about it.
exploded
You know,
listening. Every
but
male listening is just like
I was
burst into flames. But
single dad at this time. When
Yeah.
listen. The guys who exploded their brains just now should all just take it easy and realize that women have to.
we'll
deal
start
with that
talking
for
about
their
your
lives.
prostates next, guys. I'm kidding.
Okay, so it's good to talk about and communicate about your flow and your
I hate that.
about
so
sex.
Just call it your
But
menstrual
it's
cycle,
important.
Lord.
No, but it's important.
But
to
don't call
know.
it Aunt Flo because she's creepy.
No, I don't know. I don't have an Aunt Flo. Okay, back to.
No, but my point is though is like, but I agree with you just to wrap that up and have everyone like put themselves back together. Is the fact that I do agree with you. It is important to not stigmatize it or make it taboo because you're already self-conscious enough as a young girl to not have this thing, and you're already like going through it like an identity thing, like when you're young, whether you're a guy or a girl or whatever you're going through. So to make the changes your body's going through less taboo and more okay and acceptable and normal, and normalizing those changes, whatever identity like you identify with or whatever feels your normal, we need to make that more acceptable because the fact that we tiptoe around it and make it a bigger, scarier monster on the bed under the bed than it needs to be is dangerous. Yeah, I agree with that. Anyway, all right, getting off my apple box, getting back to Curb Your Dragon.
Okay,
because the tiger.
Oh right, the tiger.
The tiger blood.
Which I didn't. I think I started out as a goat. So when I changed from a goat back into Jerry Russo, I did a little like thanks you, Alex, or whatever. I did a little voice thing, and I wasn't exactly in the exact same spot as the goat.
Which,
but, I mean,
by the way, when we did special effects, you had to be in the exact same spot.
But when Selena turns from the tiger back into Selena, she's licking her hand.
Okay.
But the cat wasn't doing that. The tiger wasn't doing that, which was, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter.
I mean, you're.
I'm getting
it was
semantical.
it was a Disney Channel show. We were about magic. She could lick her hand if she wants to. Maybe she was like, I have fur for the first time. I don't know. She was an actor, very professional. She justified it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Come on, you had to have justified a lot of things
so
that
many
make
things
no
you have to
sense
justify.
to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on. Oh, no. Okay. Humanosa Espinosa. That's what it was.
Humanosa Espinosa.
That's what it was.
Okay.
I know.
Thank you. Oh.
Yeah. Humanosa Espinosa, which was the spell.
Was there some, where was that? I guess.
Because it went from an animal to a human. That was the whole thing.
Got it.
Because remember the whole episode, you turn in the dog into the dragon and the Jerry to a goat.
Oh my God.
It makes sense. All the fans were like, duh.
Listen, I apologize to everybody.
Look, there's a lot of episodes we're rewatching. There's a lot of spells we got to keep straight. So we appreciate your patience.
So Jennifer Stone.
Yes,
I'm gonna
David
ask her
DeLuise.
a question. when she was using the old typewriter, which was a computer for wizards, and she looks like, oh, I want to get shoes or, heels that you can never fall in.
Yeah.
And then she brings the
online shopping.
Right, the online shopping.
Yeah.
But what was your thought about it being an old typewriter? Because we never saw that again. We never went back to that like wizard computer thing.
I mean, I'm biased because I'm an old lady on the inside. I loved it because I have my own typewriter that works that I used to write people letters with, and then people were like, didn't appreciate it. So I just was like, I'm going to stop. Nobody likes my typewriter
Fuck
letters.
those people. Write me a letter. A card in the mail means a lot. Like a birthday card in the mail is huge rather than a text.
I agree. I love a handwritten note. But you know what my favorite thing is? I absolutely love this so much. When I travel places or when I have like a loved one or a friend or whatever travel to another place, I love a postcard.
Yeah,
I love a handwritten postcard.
Yulia
I'm an old lady on the inside. I love
100%. We're always about postcards.
I have like a little like photo album of like all my collected postcards over the years.
If I ever travel again,
please. I love it. Makes my whole day when I get a postcard. Little things. But the typewriter. So I love a typewriter, and I thought that it was such a cool combination from like, I don't know if that part was scripted. Like I said, I don't have as much knowledge about this particular episode because I wasn't in it. But I can't remember if the typewriter was scripted or if that was our props department that put those two together. But
I'm curious to find that out.
I am too. But I love the fact that it was like this new thing of online shopping mixed with this older technology of a typewriter. I thought that was beautiful.
Everybody, we did not have smartphones then.
No.
There's an episode.
It was early on.
Early on where Selena's talking into a sidekick. By the way, everyone, a sidekick was like a Motorola, like a phone that you
T-Mobile is what it was.
That you the front of it you like flipped up, and then you could text.
I wanted one
and you
so
flipped
bad.
it down. It was like addicting to do the flip up and down.
I remember working with Vanessa Hudgens, and she had one.
She had that,
and I thought but she had the one that was like all blinged out with like purple like Swarovski crystals when that was really big.
That's very special.
And I just thought she was the coolest thing in the world because I had a cool like pink. I had the pink Razor, which was like a phone that was like flat.
I had a Razor.
Oh, look at us.
Yeah, look at that. The
Razor
flip phone.
People.
It was a flip.
It was a flip phone.
And it was very small.
It was very small and it was very flat. And that was why it was called a Razor. But I remember wanting a sidekick, and just everyone that had a sidekick I thought was so cool. And it was so like I
had a pager.
Oh, wow.
A pager is a little thing that most doctors had that would
doctors
sit on
still
your
have it,
thing, and you'd get a and then you get a phone number, and then you would find a payphone, which is, sometimes you see them out there.
I get excited when I see a payphone. They're hard to find.
They are hard to find. I was in Ojai with my wife recently, and there was a payphone there.
Very
exciting. I took a picture with it, like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, it's a joke, but I didn't want to touch it. And it didn't work.
No, if you think about it, ever since like working at the hospital, I'm much more aware of like
touching things.
No, well, not really touching things, but just germs because like, obviously I see a lot of people that are full of them.
Yeah.
But the thing is like those payphones are gross. Yeah. Like they're really disgusting.
I mean,
they never got cleaned
with hand sanitizer.
Everybody breathed on them, which your mouth is like the nastiest thing on the planet.
The actual
payphones are really gross.
Of course, I was just thinking about my payphone, the one that I touched, but you mean all around payphones.
No, just in general. So, but I'm thinking, it's a shame they got rid of payphones. And I'm like, no, it's actually pretty good. We probably stopped a lot of like really horrible, like, or maybe it like weakened our immune systems. I don't know. That was a very weird brain fart aside.
But the fact that the technology hadn't caught up yet, in this episode, David Henrie pulls out a camera, an actual film camera.
Like a digital camera.
No, it was like a film camera. I don't think it was digital. I mean, everybody can watch and you can see. But with Paulie Litt, who's in this episode, he takes a picture of Dragon the dog, who's an actual dragon. And I'm like, why does he have a camera just in his pocket? And because they wanted the joke, you know what I mean, to take a picture. And then later of the dog that had passed away, I think he's got like a
picture with it.
He's got like 10 pictures in like a thing you used to put in your wallet with pictures.
No, but we did that a few times where like we would conveniently have something for a gag and then it would conveniently disappear when the gag was done. Like we did that a few times.
Well, there was a bit too where Selena's giving David, not in this episode, but another one where Selena's like, oh yeah, well, can I have $5? And she, he wanted something for her. He just happened to have $5 in his pocket.
Exactly $5.
And then he said, well, what's the $5 for? And she said, well, because I want it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. Yes. So once Selena has the computer open, she brings in the guy who's going to sell the dragons.
Yeah, who's like a total scam artist.
And he was Taylor Negro.
Yes.
Who had been in many things. He was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
And I was super, I want to say the nicest things I can. But he was a little odd. He's since passed away. He passed away in 2015.
Yeah.
Which is sad. But I don't know. He just was a little creepy on the set. I was like, hey, I was a big fan. He was like, yeah, so what is this Disney stuff? And I was like, I felt uncomfortable. It was weird,
I don't remember having, because like I said, I wasn't in that episode, so I don't
Right.
remember having that interaction, or if I had an interaction with him. But all I can say is, like, I know actors can sometimes be pretty eccentric.
Yeah.
So
well, he was supposed to be a sleazy dude. So
yeah, but also too, like, we did have some people that were like really established. Some people were so great, like Polly. They came in, they were ready to play. They had no attitude about it being Disney Channel. And then
Right.
some people would come in and they'd have a little bit of an attitude
Yeah,
of
and
like,
I think-
this is beneath me. I'm not saying that's what he did, but I'm just saying like some people did have that when they came
I think that's what it was. He was poo-pooing where we were
That's a
little
bummer.
bit. It was that, I think, more so than. But I mean, it was a little odd. And I just found out that he had passed away, and I was
that
very
makes me really
sorry
sad.
about that.
But it's one of those things where like it just goes to show in the same episode to have two people. One person is like they let their ego kind of take over versus Polly, who was there to play, there to work, just excited to have an opportunity to act in whatever avenue that it was.
Right.
And like we talked about, like Polly did big things, much bigger, quote unquote, before Wizards, but had no artifice, no like ego about it, whatever. But to me, I'm like, it's such a missed opportunity when you walk into something with any kind of ego or artifice or bullshit, because it prevents you from just getting to enjoy and be in the moment and like actually get to like really savor that.
100%. I agree with Jen Stone. Everybody else who agrees with Jen Stone, raise your hand. Maybe somebody, if you're driving and listening, don't do
raise your
that.
hand.
Don't do that.
Drive safe.
So
If you're sleeping and you raise your hand, see a doctor.
I just think it's so funny. I wrote down that David had a camera in his pocket and took a picture.
It's just
I think
so
it's
weird.
silly. Okay, so Alex, talked about Willie. I think was the first dog. Willie.
Yeah.
And we just reference
never talked about
to
But how
David being
many-
mortified.
Yeah.
The dog dying, and then once they get Dragon, they pretend to the parents that it's
a dog.
a dog that they just found.
Yes.
And then we put up, lost posters. They all put up lost posters. And
To
then,
find the owner of this dog.
right, and then Taylor, who was credited as Dragon Seller,
Yeah.
that was his name on the thing. And
I'd
then
be a little
he
cranky
steals it.
too if I didn't have a name. You know what I mean? Maybe that was it. Maybe he was upset. He's like, "Can I get like a name?"
Right, isn't it with IMDb? If you don't have a character name, you can't be on IMDb.
Is that what
right?
it is?
I don't know.
I know
Everybody
that,
let
I know
us
that
know.
there's like some kind of weird pay thing where it's like you get paid different if you have a name or not. Or maybe no. You know what it is? It's if you have a line or not.
Okay.
Which obviously he had many. But
Yes.
But no, that's not the name. Because I remember when I was younger, I did like this is a very random aside, but when I was my first job ever, I was in Spy Kids 3 and I was an
Oh my
extra.
God, look at you.
But I wanted to give myself a name rather than like Girl in Crowd or something. So I was like, I'm Katie. I'm
named
Katie
yourself?
and Spy Kids. It's still on my resume, which
really?
is really stupid. But like
my
it's
God.
which is really it's a weird small world because I think like Emily Osment and Daryl Sabera and like all these people that ended up, either working with Disney or on Wizards, which is
Right.
a bizarre.
I
weird,
want to
small
go
world.
back and watch.
Please, I don't even think you can see me in it. But it was at Six Flags by my house in Texas, and so that's why I was an extra.
That is so
So
cool.
silly.
Okay, because
But
we're
I had a
talking-
name, so
I love that you gave yourself your own name. Okay,
So dumb.
this is big for me.
Yes.
I've written to IMDb. I've texted them.
Okay,
I've
guys,
so this is like
an exclusive-
fucking annoying to
This
me.
is-
Like nobody. This is me getting angry.
David has been haunted by this person
Okay.
for a very long time. We're
On IMDb, everybody get your phone, go to IMDb
He
on
wants
your
us to figure
computers
it out.
and go look after I'm credited. By the way, I'm just going to be a dick and say that I got an end. When you do a thing and
Yeah.
you're
An
people
and.
know me,
Yeah.
you either get, and Selena was the number one.
Yeah, sure.
And I mean, to my credit, I was pretty known at this
you
time, and I got the end, which nobody fucking knows, and I'm just like 6 down on the totem pole. You know what I mean? Like I'm at
okay.
the end because I got the end. You know what I mean? And David DeLuise.
You're putting importance in
All right,
things
I'm
that
going to
are
stop
like,
talking.
come on.
But I'm going to say this. What does that say? Holland Sanders?
Holland Sanders.
Holland Sanders.
Guys.
Supposedly had done like, it says like, 20 episodes or whatever it is of Wizards. She was never on Wizards. She's never been on the show. I want everyone, please contact IMDb and let them know that this is not true. Holland Sanders was not in the show.
Who Holland Sanders is, because this has been keeping David up nights. It's been bothering him.
He's
written many angry letters.
There's no photo of her. She apparently was in a couple of other things. And I'm so mad because it's not okay. It should go me, Dan Benson, Bill Cott, Greg Salkin. You know what I mean? Like, it's not okay that happened. I'm angry.
Yeah, it's not okay that Holland Sanders is bumping people down the totem pole.
Is Holland Sanders a real person or someone, a hacker?
She literally, I think Holland Sanders, did you hack up a hairball? What just happened there?
I'm a funny person, but I am not kidding. I want everyone, can you hear it in my voice?
No, I'm messing with you because I think it's so funny this bothers you so much.
Okay, it bothers me. It's
I
just
don't know
okay.
why.
I worked my whole fucking life to get on there and to have that credit,
David, I love you, but hold on, give me a second. Why do you give, here's the thing, guys. So
if you can see me,
everyone
I'm bright
at home,
red
he
and
is
I'm
bright
angry.
red. He's very Italian, shaking your fists with the pasta
Holland
sauce.
Sanders.
But here's the thing is, so it is a big deal if you have a with or an and at the end of like the title thing. Well, you just brushed over. You explain everything. You don't explain that.
I'm sorry.
No, but here's the thing. So, because you were so heated about Holland. But here's the thing is like, so like a with or an and is usually like a special person. So you got your and.
Right, and everybody
Why
who
do you
sees
give a shit what order you are in on IMDb? And you're before Holland. Why do you care?
I'm before Holland.
You're before Holland. You're this mysterious visage. Why do you care what order you're on IMDb?
I'm going to let it go. I'm going to, acceptance is the answer to all my problems. I'm going to accept that, but I'm not going to accept Holland, whatever her name is.
How about this? You can forgive, but you don't have to forget.
Everybody, if you are a fan of this show,
starting a witch
you
hunt.
write to IMDb and you tell them that this person was not in the show. And here's the other thing I
or
want to
just
tell
tell
you.
us who you are or who she is.
She was never in any episodes. I know. I was there. You were there. Do you know a Holland Sanders?
No. I'm like, is this your ex-wife? Who is this?
No, that's not. No, it's not.
No.
But, okay, so moving on. It was funny because Peter Marietta, the executive producer, I said, yeah, that really made me mad. And he goes, oh, I know. And I said, well, I thought I was holding it back.
Watch, it's
you know?
Peter this
Something
whole
else.
time.
No. And for people who are listening, what I do when I'm mad is I go like this, and then I brush down my face. I just push down my face the whole way.
He's getting anger sweats off.
Yeah. Yeah, the anger sweat. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done complaining.
Are you okay? Do you want to take a breath?
I just can't wait for this episode to happen and
people. He's going to be so sad.
I'm so happy.
No. I'm saying if the fans don't solve the Holland Sanders,
they're going to solve it. I have full faith in all of our fans. Are you kidding me?
Because my brain works in like options, right? So like in my brain, I'm like, okay, yeah, they took because they're totally capable. We have very strong, smart, like organized fan base. We're very lucky. Or they could just be like, that's weird. Why is he upset about it? And then totally abandon it. You were going to be so sad if it's $50
again. You want to bet?
I'm not betting you anymore. I always lose. I'm hoping it's the former so you'll rest. Lord.
Okay. I wanna keep talking
you want
about
a witch
this.
hunt.
We should move on.
We're gonna move on because everyone is like, this isn't the Holland Sanders.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Our sound guy just went, what?
This is not a true crime podcast of who the hell is Holland Sanders. That's our spin-off podcast. Who the hell is Holland Sanders?
Yeah, who the hell is Holland Sanders?
Oh my God. Okay, back to the episode,
Holland Sanders.
Sir. This is a Wizards rewatch, not a witch hunt. Lord.
Okay, here is something I was talking about. Oh, the newsstand. There was
that popped up out of nowhere?
Yeah, but no. There was a newsstand in the back of the substation with one of our extras, and I don't remember his name, but he was an older white-haired gentleman who was very nice. And then all of a sudden he was gone, and there was no newsstand there.
Yeah,
that kind of went away. I'm not sure exactly.
It didn't fit the gag.
It didn't.
Whatever it was.
But when we go outside, Paulie all of a sudden has a newsstand out there.
Maybe Paulie like whacked him.
No, he's still in the episode.
No, Polly whacked the newsstand.
The
guy.
newsstand guy? Oh my God. Forget about it.
Forget about it. He's 6 feet, he's swimming with the fishes.
But there's
I need to work on my Italian accent. You guys are you're Italian. So like,
are you ready?
they're
Are you
both,
ready?
Yeah,
Just
yeah. Give me some.
forget about it.
Forget it. Swimming with the fishes.
Swimming with the fishes.
I don't know. I gotta work on it. I'm gonna work on it.
You know what that means? Swimming
They're
with the fishes?
dead.
Yeah, but because what they used to do is give
Put
them
cinder blocks and then throw them in the ocean.
cinder blocks. Okay.
I know how to kill a person.
It's not a test.
I know how to make people disappear
So we'll have a conversation about that later.
with my therapist.
Then the newsstand. Oh, and Paulie.
He's the best.
He's so cute. He looks at Selena and he goes, because she wants something. She wants a magazine or something from him. And he says, how about a pastrami on rye with a kiss? And she's like, how about nothing? And he goes, how about a pastrami and a meaningful hug? I mean, it's
when
just
we
funny.
asked him, we said, like, what's the thing that you would love to see your character doing? He's like, I'd like to see him collect on the pastrami on rye and the kiss.
You're 100%.
And I'm like, you could come to collect. Frankie could come to collect, you know?
I love that. Oh, I love this.
I love your
It's
notes.
So random and
your
weird.
notes are so great.
So when there's a David, now the dog, by the way, I'm sorry. When David Henrie finds out that the dog is gone and the rightful owner supposedly came and picked up
so
Dragon,
sad.
it's so emotional.
I know.
And I'm surprised that Disney let it hit that hard because I even got emotional, and I know it's pretend.
It was like an old Yeller moment
it
where it was just
was-
like Lassie fell down the well.
It was really
like it was
sad, and also he has this montage of hearing. You know, hey, I say, hey, can you go in the back and get some pups? And he's like, pups? And I'm like, no, cups. And then this guy is ordering. David's behind the register. And the guy looks to David's right, the guy's left, and pretends to read off a menu board that's not there.
Acting.
I know, but I just was like, I mean, I think Bob Cohair directed this episode,
believe
who
so,
was
too,
amazing.
I'm gonna double check.
Wonderful,
Fact check.
wonderful, amazing director. And
No, this was Bob Berlinger.
Bob Berlinger, okay, who I worked with on, get ready for it, Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh, here we go. I'm gonna swear, I'm gonna have like some whiskey back here. I'm gonna
Bob
take a shot
actually
every time you
gave
mention
me-
directing or Third Rock. It's not that I don't love that you did those things, but you mention it a lot.
I do. It's my life. It's what happened in my life.
But you did other projects. You
Yeah.
did a lot of things, but that's the one you talk about.
I have to give Bob a shout out because when I wanted to start directing, I was camera blocking all scripts, every script.
Yeah.
Camera, like, you know, and camera blocking is deciding which camera is covering which line. And you have 4 cameras, A, B, and C, and X. And
Did you guys notice I didn't cut him off or give him shit for saying that at all? Everyone's like, can Jennifer shut the hell up? Just fair.
like it that you know, keep me in
That's
check.
how we talk.
Yeah.
It's how I'm sure it's some kind of like thing I got to work out with my therapist, but like when I love somebody, I give them shit. If I'm super polite and nice to you, we got problems.
Well, then you really love me, Jen.
I really love you. I really love you.
So Bob gave me a shot of camera blocking a scene, and then he told them, and that was very nice, and I appreciated that.
So then we have the montage where David's upset about the dog. He sees
Right, and the
like pups
guy's
everywhere.
and the guy's not looking. He's looking at a board, a sandwich board that's never there. I love finding those little things that were there that were never there again. There's a moment where it's either in this episode or the next one where Maria comes out of the layer, the
where it was
freezer,
always that,
and it was the first and last time this ever happened. She was carrying a box, and I think David and Selena were talking, and she's like, "Yeah, no, I got it," you know, like I'm carrying this, and then they magically turn the freezer back into the layer and then open the door and go in. That
we never
happened
did that again.
Never happened again.
Also, question, just semantics. You guys have to have a freezer as a sub shop. Where the hell was your freezer?
I don't know. We have to talk to the writers and ask them that question.
They were like, we were frying bigger fish than where's the freezer in the sub shop where we keep the deli meats.
Yeah, I mean, if
salmonella.
They just let that go. They just were like, you know, everybody.
Well, like I said, they had bigger focuses, I'm sure,
right.
than the semantics of how a deli works.
Oh, right, David. This is what I was going to say. David got very emotional when the dog was not there anymore.
It was a beautiful moment.
It was a beautiful moment,
Yeah.
but just surprising to me that it was so heavy. And now related to David, but not related to that, he dressed very messy. A lot of his shirts were kind of popping out at the end, his collar was funny. And I realized that's how Shia LaBeouf dressed in Even Stevens. Well, that's very much his outfit. So it was like David, I think, was really embracing that. I'm sure Shia LaBeouf influenced some of his acting because they were very similar in the beginning, and then he kind of transferred.
He's going to love that you said that.
Oh, really?
Because
are you being sarcastic or no?
A little. So here's the thing: is like he would come to set and he was like, so they tell me that I'm really a mixture between Shia LaBeouf and Ryan Gosling, and I'm like, who is?
Was Ryan Gosling a thing?
Yes, because it was like 2004. I think was like The Notebook, and we came out in 2007. So Ryan Gosling was like the hot guy.
Okay.
And David, here's the thing: David is objectively attractive. He's very funny. I was never attracted to David. He's not my cup of tea. But he was not Ryan Gosling.
No, he was not Ryan Gosling.
The Shia LaBeouf thing I kind of get. But like the Ryan Gosling thing, I was like, pump the brakes.
I was influenced by Shia LaBeouf on that show. When I watched Even Stevens for the first time, I was like, holy shit, this kid is amazing.
Hysterical.
In the same vein as Paulie, I think.
But there was a lot of stuff where he was like, I am this person. And I was like, chill out.
Okay, yeah, that was chilling out is a good thing. Like I agree, but I mean I don't know if he asked wardrobe to dress him that way
because his style kind of changed, and I know that he got a little frustrated later on when they leaned into Justin being a little quote unquote nerdier.
Right,
he didn't like that.
Yeah,
that's what I remember at least.
Well, and that's how I remember Justin. The character was...
Yeah, but that was what was great about Justin. And when he leaned into it with the stuff with him and Dan, it was so good. It was so good when he leaned into it. I felt like he kind of ruined... To me, I looked at it like this. Like if I, playing Harper, tried to play it cool, it wouldn't have worked. And I think the moments where he let the trying to be cool or trying to be this idea of what he thought he should be or wanted to be or whatever get in the way of just the comedy.
Right.
I felt like it just dampened the character of Justin. Not necessarily forget about who David is or his essence or whatever, but just who the character of Justin was. I felt like it kind of put a damper on it because when he truly embraced it, it was like comedy gold. Yeah. It was beautiful.
He made me laugh a lot.
He's hilarious. And he's so
process,
talented.
And we'll talk to him when he's on the show, but his process, he really liked to work things out.
Yeah.
I always watched it. Sometimes he'd be on set, trying to figure stuff out, or he loved to bring in a prop.
He had a great work ethic.
He was adding as much as he could, which is what I like to do too.
And that's the thing is when he leaned into it, all of those beautiful things that he had worked so hard to add and bring to life really came to life beautifully. And so I loved when he just embraced it.
Yeah, I agree. The fart joke.
You love a fart joke. That's shocking.
I do love a fart joke.
And then just to kind of wrap the whole episode up is the fact so so he has a thing with the dog.
Jen, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine. Please.
But I
interrupt you all the time.
Amanda was in this episode too.
I know.
And she
popped up again.
They all go to the event, the dog show.
Yes.
And Amanda's there again, and she's a security guard. And she says something at the top. She says something into walkie. She's like, Bob, get fries with that or something like that. She says something just not. I'm like, that's the gold to me. Those little nuggets of stuff that is in there that is funny and doesn't have to be in there. Because a lot of times you have to cut the show to the story rather than to the funniness.
To the comedy. Yeah.
And she did. Jake is turned from a dog back into Jake, but he still is acting like a dog, and he's sniffing all over the place. And Amanda goes, Bob, we got a sniffer. I mean, it's funny.
It's so good. And then Jake committed so much to sniffing things and everything. And the whole thing is they're going back to the dog show because the scam guy, the dragon seller, has claimed that the dog is his
and is going to
and that's his whole scam
is
he gives the dog he does the lost posters and gets the dog back somehow, and now they're trying to get him from this dog show.
And somehow Selena there's two
here we come full circle with the tiger.
But no she turns back from a tiger into Selena Gomez, but there is two carrier dog carry things. So somehow,
Well, they do the classic bait
I
and
know
switch.
the bait and switch, but it's like one of those things that of course he would know that it's not the same one that
Like the
that
weight
he's taking
distribution. Yeah.
Although, and I thought that weight distribution too, but then they said there was another dog in there.
Yeah.
That he left with something, that there was something.
Who's that dog?
I don't know. They referred to it. It was like the weird looking poodle. I don't know. There was some dog that was referred to and then said that was
a dog we're
in it.
also never going to refer to again.
I mean, I want to ask the fans, did you guys, is that okay to say you guys or folks? What do I say? The fans.
I like folks. Folks is kind of fun.
Folks.
No one else
let
likes
us know.
folks. That's probably just a
Did
me
it
thing.
bother you that you never saw a dog again? That dog, we committed. I was like, please, Teresa, can we keep it? And then we
It's
have
like,
a dog.
fine.
But did it bother you that there was no dog ever again in the series? Question mark.
But the thing is like, you know what they say, don't work with children or dogs. They were already
It's
working.
my career. What are you talking about?
I know. That's true, because you've done a lot of dog movies.
12.
Which still blows my mind. But the thing is like the child ship had already sailed, so they weren't going to add a dog to it, you know. And every show that I know, I've heard of people working with animals, and it's like a continual character. It makes people crazy.
Well, there was that whole show, Dog with a Blog.
Oh, that's
right?
true.
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
Maybe that dog went and had his own spinoff.
Maybe,
No,
maybe he's like, I'm a series regular on this one. I'm not a guest player, so I gotta go.
that was so interesting to me because I mean that's something like. I mean, the next episode, nothing's talked about, and it just.
Well, but and there was a lot of episodes too in the first season. I think as we got our rhythm in the first season, it was less of this, but a lot of the episodes in the first season weren't shown in the order that they were. So I think on purpose, they didn't reference other episodes because they wanted to make sure they could put them in any order, which after the second season and even towards the end of the first season, I think they stopped doing that because they knew they were going to air it in that order.
They were standalones, which means you didn't need a episode before or after kind of thing. And
they weren't like the 3-part or 2-parter
right, but then
that
we
later
started
had.
doing that. We started, doing
later in the show.
We're going to do a series. It was interesting. We had our writers.
We did a series. I'm sorry. I'm such an
I
asshole.
meant like 3 episodes together being
Yeah.
a series, but I was like, give me an idea from the writers. Give me an idea to filming the script. You know how it happens. And I really had not heard what's the arc of the season? Where are we starting? What are we in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
What's the final thing? Don't get mad at me. Did you watch Cheers? Do you know that show?
Of
Cheers.
course.
Okay.
Are you kidding? Why? I'm mad at you because you asked me that question. Of course I watched Cheers. Come on.
It's a great show about a bar, and for the kids that don't know, there were 2 people that worked there. The characters Sam and Diane. Right, Diane?
Yeah.
And so they really kind of hated each other.
Yeah.
So
It's a great
that was
dynamic.
a through line throughout the entire series. And so what I always say is, what's the Sam and Diane?
Oh, I
and
love
the Sam
that.
and Diane for us
Yeah.
was the teaching the kids magic and the competition at the end.
But also the dynamic between Justin and Alex and Max. That whole thing of, Max sometimes kind of was an outlier, but there really was a dynamic, kind of a Sam and Diane between
Right.
Alex and Justin, where they,
Competition.
the competition, but also too, Justin was always very straight-laced. And then, for lack of a better way to put it, but Alex would come in and undo all the laces.
Right.
You know what I mean? They kind of had that sort of set up foil
Right.
partnership, which was so beautiful.
And at the end of this one, she helped him out. She was there for him. Most
But
of
she
the
also
time.
kind of undid his
Her
relationship
problem.
with the dog, created the problem, which Alex often did. She created a problem and then
And then
solved the
solved
problem
it.
she
Right,
created.
right.
Yeah.
And that happened a lot. But when you solve the problem for your sibling, that's big. That's
Yeah.
love.
Well, it's support. It's
Yeah.
being there for your sibling and for your loved ones, you know? And so it's but it also too, it's taking account of, well, we're getting very deep with a show about dog dragons and farts. But it's true. It's a really impactful thing when you have somebody that you love, whether it's a sibling or a family member or a significant other, whatever, where they, even if they cause hurt, which people are imperfect, they're going to, and they take accountability, and then they atone for whatever hurt they might have caused. Right. That's a beautiful thing. And Alex always had, I mean, she might have delayed it a little bit and had some denial and whatever, but ultimately she came to accountability and owned up to, mistakes that she had made and tried to grow from them. And that was a great character arc carried as a through line.
Which is a great learning experience. And it's really interesting because I just, in my remembering or trying to explain Alex, it's, she was very mischievous.
Of course.
And I wouldn't say that she was, if she did something nice, she didn't want anyone to know about it. You know what I mean? That character wanted to be devious.
Sure.
Yeah.
But don't you know people like that? I do.
Yeah.
Well, because they don't want to, because to some people niceness is vulnerability. And that's the whole thing, is they don't want to be seen as vulnerable or weak, which is nonsense, because being nice is the opposite of being weak. That's like a stronger response, because sometimes weak is going with that guttural anger or sadness or whatever that emotional response is, rather than being kind.
Right. To answer your question, I know people who don't want the credit, but they don't start the problem in the beginning.
Well, they'll help. But it's also a TV show, David. It's not real. I'm not sure if you knew that.
Wait, what?
It wasn't real.
When the little kids would come up to me, like a little kid, and I remember the first time that this happened. There was I don't know, 7, and she said, "Is the magic real?"
Oh.
And I was like,
"Oh, honey.
Oh, shit.
It is to me."
Yeah. And I said, what do you think?
Yeah.
She goes, yeah. And I was like, I would always just do a little wink, because it's special effects. You know what I mean? What am I going to say? I can't say, I didn't want to burst your bubble.
Of course
what
not.
I mean?
Life will do that on its own. So you got to keep the magic real as much as possible.
She'll be miserable when she has to work with a tiger and then realize
when Aunt Flo comes down. Okay. So since this is the only episode that the Russos ever have a dog, and I know you have Tony. We all love Tony.
He's my mini dachshund. He's my son.
Yes.
He's my everything. He is my moon and my sun and my stars.
And he farts upstairs. No, he doesn't.
No, he didn't fart himself. You know what, Tony?
You do that.
He doesn't. I do. Yeah, and I'll claim it. I'm proud of my gas.
I own it. I have ownership of my.
But Tony doesn't have a lot of gas. I mean, Yulia might say that he does fart.
There's enough gas in your house. With
I
just
love
you.
him so much. I don't smell his gas.
Oh, that's love.
Yeah,
that's love. If there was a Valentine's card, I love you so much, I can't smell your gas. God, I should work for a greeting card company. No, but I was gonna say. So this is the only episode that the Russos have a dog, and I love dogs. I'm a huge animal lover. I mean, I have cats, but that's just because I don't have enough time and energy for a dog. It's a lot of work. Other than a dachshund, what is your favorite breed of dog? Before you had Tony, what was your favorite breed of dog?
Well, when I was growing up, I had a dog, a cockapoo, a mixture, a little poodle.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. No. Sorry.
And his name was
I live
Midnight,
in the gutter. I'm sorry.
And he was little. He was a smaller dog, and so sweet and nice. And my dad, we had a hallway that was very long with carpet.
Yeah.
And then in the front, where it led to the entrance of the house, was all wood. So my dad would call Midnight, and he'd come running, and then my dad would try to stop him on the wood, and he would try to turn around, but he would slip, so we couldn't come.
Yeah. Wood floors are hard.
Yeah.
They're hard with
so that dog, I don't know another breed.
No, cockapoos are great.
I'll tell you this. My wife had a dachshund growing up, and her dog's name was Stroppy. And she loved dachshunds. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, we're going to get a dog. We're committed to this.
Yeah.
And I was a little nervous about dachshunds because sometimes they can be a little feisty. I was at a mall one time and I went to go pet a dachshund and the guy was like, he doesn't like people. And I was like, oh, okay.
But it's all about the owners and how you bring them up.
I agree. Well, Tony doesn't like kids and certain people.
It's all about the owners. It's how you bring them up.
We'll be sitting down having food, and I'll be like, Yulia, kids are coming, alert.
Well, kids are grabby.
But the reason why we did get a dachshund is because we would see a dog that's really cute, and Yulia would go, oh. Yeah. And then we would see a dachshund, and she would go, oh, my She didn't make that noise, but I'm just,
There's an
saying.
ovary thing that happens.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have that with, like, I'm not a kid person either, which is ironic, but like babies, like I'm not a baby person. I've never seen a baby and been like, oh my God, that baby. But there's been a lot of dogs that I see it and I just feel an ovary go, like just pop. Like it just like goes.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I don't fart upstairs. My ovaries just pop and I go upstairs. No.
But I want to know what's your breed? What would you like to get?
I have a few things that I'd like to get, but it is funny how, because I grew up with Pomeranians, because my dad, same thing. He just fell in love. He saw a Pomeranian, fell in love with them. But I didn't realize until actually this episode, the Pomeranians are really like yippy dogs. Because we grew up like taking our Poms to like the farm with like all my grandfather has a farm in Texas where everyone would like dump their like stray dogs. So like he's got a lot of like mixes and he's got this kind of like little like dog pack of like all these dogs. And there's a little Chihuahua named Little Bit that just runs the roost of like all these like stray dogs.
The little ones do.
Yeah, always. Because they think they're huge. And so I grew up with Pomeranians that thought they were farm dogs. So the first time I ever saw a Pom and realized that they were yippy, kind of snappy, like purse dogs was actually on this episode. Because I went to go to pet the Pom and the Pom like snapped at me and I was like, oh God. But I do want to get a dog at some point. Because I just love them so much. I grew up with them. But I would either do a King Charles. Because I love a floppy ear and I love a big sad eye.
Yeah.
I love a sad velvet clown painting eye. Or a corgi, because I relate to them on I relate to Tony because they have short little legs.
Yeah.
And I have short little legs and I can't run.
Jen, you were proportionately correct.
Proportionately short? Yes.
No, you're perfect.
I'm a nugget. I had a pediatrician that told me I'd be 5'8", and ever since then I've just like thought I was taller than I am. I'm average sized.
That's so funny.
I'm a very averaged sized human.
I see myself as 5'11".
Yeah.
But I think technically...
You're not 6 foot like every other man on the earth?
No, but I think I'm technically 5'10" and a half.
Okay.
And I was auditioning for a commercial with Jerome Bettis, who was the
No one knows
bus.
who that is.
Yeah, they do. He was the running back for the
it's
Steelers.
Sports. That's why I have no clue who that is.
But so you weren't allowed to be 5'10" or higher for the commercial because he's a little shorter.
Yeah, well.
So I actually, when I did my slate, I kind of like bent my knees a little bit and I was like, I'm 5'10".
Yeah, I have to say, like, as an actor, being a certain size as a woman is a good thing because all the actors are short.
Yeah, a lot of the lead actors, this is not like.
Which sucks as a woman because I love me a tall drink of water, and there's not a lot of them.
There's a lot of lead actors that are a little shorter.
Yeah. There's a lot of nuggets.
Yeah, a
lot of little chicken nuggets.
I hope it's okay to say that, Tom.
I think he's fine. I think he's fine. I don't know if he's tuning in every Monday. I think he's a little busy.
If Tom Cruise is listening, I think his friends call him TC.
Oh my God.
Wait, if he is.
He's not.
Hi, Tom. I'm a fan.
Oh my God. I thought Harrison Ford was your man crush.
No, I love his movies and he's running. Sure. I love his running.
He's the runner.
Yeah, and you know
which is he defies physics because the little short corgi legs. Usually he can't run, but he does it. He does it. He ranks all the ankles, but he does it and he commits, and I appreciate it.
I'm a big fan. I don't know why he didn't do the show. He should have done Wizards. I mean, we had The Rock. The Rock was on our show.
Well, that was before The Rock was The Rock.
But did they tell you this too? They were like, you can't call him The Rock. You have to call him Dwayne Johnson.
I honestly
was disassociating himself from that.
This is what's so weird about memory is I remember some things from the show so clearly, and then don't remember other things at all. I don't know was I in the Rock episode or the Dwayne Johnson episode because I don't remember him being on the show at all.
We'll answer that question when we
get
watch
to that episode. But excuse me, guys, I gotta run like Tom Cruise out of this room. We gotta go. We got things to do. I know it.
Okay.
I have to go look at dog pictures. You have to take care of your actual dog.
Yeah.
Now we've been talking about dogs.
If you're listening.
He absolutely now Tony is tuning in every Monday. I know that for
and
a
Yulia,
fact.
I love you too. Okay, Jen, it was you know what?
It's always
I
a
don't
pleasure.
I love the show,
Yeah.
but I'm not a fan that you were not in this episode.
I appreciate
I'm
that.
bummed about that. And I will say,
I was bummed about
everybody,
it too.
go to IMDb, write to IMDb,
here we go.
and tell me why that woman is on there. Not okay.
Holland Sanders, we're gonna find you.
Ah, were you there? It's Holland Sanders. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Wizards of Waverly Pod. And if you want to watch clips from the pod, then go to Podco YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Oh, and if you want to join our Patreon, the link is in the description for that too. You get exclusive weekly bonus content. Exclusive. All right, see you next week.